Section 11.4, Addition and Subtraction with Polynomials. In this video, we are going to learn to add and subtract polynomials, and we're going to simplify algebraic expressions by removing grouping symbols and then combining like terms. So when we're adding polynomials, all we're really doing is we're just combining like terms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here, and again, as we discussed in the last video, we normally put things in decreasing order when we're writing polynomials, and I'm just going to look for my like terms. Well, I have a 5x cubed and a positive 4x cubed, which is going to give me 9x cubed. Now, one of the things you might want to do is as you're using your terms and combining them, you might mark them out so you make sure that you combine all of them. Now let's look and see if we've got any x squareds. Well, I've got a negative 8x squared, a negative 2x squared, so I can put those together and get minus 10x squared. Then we're going to look for x's. So I have a positive 12x and a negative 5x. So I can put those together and get positive 7x. And then the last thing should be any constants that we have. And we have a positive 13 and a positive 14. So if I put those together, I get a positive 27. And there is my final answer. So in our next example, we'll do the same thing. We'll look for our like terms. X cubed and 4x cubed. Remember, well, that's 1x cubed plus 4x cubed. So that's going to be 5x cubed. Then we'll look for x squareds. Negative x squared and positive 5x squared would be plus 4x squared. Then our x's, positive 5x and negative 8x would be negative 3x. And then plus 9 is our only constant. In example C, we've got a 4x cubed and a 1x cubed. That's going to give me 5x cubed. We only have one x squared term, so we'll bring it down, minus 4x squared. Positive 15x and positive 6x would give me positive 21x. And then negative 7 and positive 2 would give me negative 5. Now, the way I do subtracting polynomials is I remember that if I'm subtracting, that is the same thing as adding a negative. So if I have, or adding the opposite, so if I had 3 minus 12, remember that that's the same thing as 3 plus negative 12. So I treat all of my subtraction problems as addition problems. So the first thing I would do in this problem is I would change this minus to a plus, and then I need to do the opposite of everything in the parentheses. So that'll be negative 4x, or negative 5x to the fourth, positive 2x cubed, positive 5x squared, and then negative x on the end. And now we just combine like terms. So our highest power is a 9x to the fourth and a negative 5x to the fourth. Well, that's going to be 4x to the fourth. Negative 22x cubed and positive 2x cubed would be negative 20x cubed. Positive 3x squared and positive 5x squared would be positive 8x squared. Negative x from the last term, and then plus 10 was my only constant. Now, another way you can do these rather than horizontally is to do them vertically. I normally write my problems horizontally, but sometimes in textbooks you may see them written vertically. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to change this to plus, and then the opposite, positive 2x cubed, negative x squared, and negative 6x. And now the main thing we want to do is make sure we line up like terms. So I can add up the 8x cubed and the 2x cubed and get 10x cubed. 5x squared and negative x squared would be plus 4x squared. And then be careful here at the end because these are not like terms. They didn't line those up. So we're going to bring down just a minus 6x and a minus 14. Let's find the difference in the next set by changing this to plus and then the opposite. So combining like terms, 6x cubed plus negative 2x cubed would be 4x cubed. Negative 4x squared and positive x squared would be negative 3x squared. Positive 8x and negative 3x would be positive 5x. And 14 and 9 would be 23. And there's your final answer. Last thing we're going to do is just get rid of some grouping symbols and then add and subtract some like terms. So we want to start when we have multiple grouping symbols from the farthest symbol inside and work our way out. So the first thing I want to do is distributive property. So I'm going to bring down this 5x minus parentheses 2x and then do distributive. Plus 12 minus 3x plus 1 minus 9. Now you could go ahead and combine on the inside. So I'm going to do that because I've got a positive 2x and a negative 3x. So that's going to give me negative x. And then a positive 12 and a positive 1 will give me positive 13. And then minus 9. And now I can distribute that negative that's out in the front, or think of that as 5x minus, and then I change that to plus the opposite. And then I can combine my common terms. So 5x plus x would be 6x. And then negative 13 and negative 9 would give me negative 22. So again, let's do the same thing with the next problem. I can go ahead and do distributive property here and get negative 3x plus 12 plus 2x plus, and then we'll do distributive property here, 3x minus 9. So we'll bring down our negative 3x plus 12 plus 2 times. Now notice I can't add the 12 and the 2 because the 2 is being multiplied with those brackets. But I can combine inside and get 4x minus 9. Now I can do distributive property. 2 times 4x would be 8x, and 2 times negative 9 would be negative 18. Combining like terms, negative 3x and positive 8x would be 5x, and positive 12 and negative 18 would be minus 6.